We're going to shake things up a little here at the Chaplain's Corner After Hours, so we hope you will stay tuned for our announcement of what's coming next to our podcast adventure. Welcome to the Chaplain's Corner After Hours, a place to discuss world events which impact our Christian walk and our spiritual journey, and where sometimes these discussions have sharp edges. Hello, and welcome to this episode of the Chaplain's Corner After Hours. I'm your host, Chaplain Warren, and today's episode is going to be a little different because I have a special announcement to make. For the last 50 or so episodes we have published, we have noticed a trend. Our format has been to publish an episode with 4 news stories, followed by an editorial segment based on our lead story. After we do that, we also publish short segments by breaking the long podcast into individual separate stories and editorial segments. This has been modestly successful to our surprise, as we have been generating over 100 downloads a week, and we're thankful for that. What we have noticed along the way is that the aggregate listenership of the individual segments is larger than the listenership of the single long segment. And some small segments get lots of listeners and others not so much. So this has got us to thinking. Maybe you don't want to listen to a long podcast of stories. Maybe you would like to pick and choose among single stories that interest you the most, and then get our editorial take on those stories, along with the freedom to skip the stories that you don't really care about. So this is what we plan to do. We're going to focus on single stories per episode and put our editorial comments into each story. In addition, we're going to add another chaplain to the podcast format so you don't have to just listen to me droning on about every story and editorial, but you're going to get another viewpoint and a take from another chaplain. And you know what? We 2 chaplains may not always agree on each point. We need a little more time to retool and to regroup to get this new format going. So we've not disappeared, and we'll give you a heads up when the new format comes along. And that will be soon. And so until then, thank you for being with us today. Just remember, God is in control, and we know how the story ends.